Hello guys, I'm back. It's your boy, Jamichael, giving y'all another banger. And since I'm giving y'all another banger, if y'all could go ahead and subscribe to the channel, it would help with the growth of this channel and it would mean a lot. Go ahead and like the video and go ahead and comment down on something that you want me to talk about, NBA related or not. But without further ado, let's get into today's video, which is going to be talking about Kevin Durant. Now, I think the situation that Kevin Durant has in the Brooklyn Nets is one of the most volatile situations. And I say that because it can either go really, really well or really, really bad, depending on assortment of factors. So let's start with KD, for example. KD is coming back from a torn Achilles injury, which is a very rough injury to come back from. Not many players have come back from an Achilles injury. The same player, the only player that we can really think of in NBA standards who's came back from a torn Achilles is Dominique Wilkins, and that was almost 30 years ago, and that is the only case that we've seen it. But I see Kevin Durant as a 7-footer who doesn't primarily rely on his athleticism. Yes, he's really good at getting to the hole and getting to anywhere on the court, but he really doesn't rely on his athleticism to do it. So for me, I think the question isn't really about offense, but it's more so about defense, which is really where the volatility in the Nets come from. If KD comes back and he isn't the same defensive player that he is for Golden State, where are the Nets going to get their defense from? The defense for the Nets is going to be a huge question mark, because seeing how committed KD is on defense, if he has the energy to do it, does he still have the body to handle to playing defense, will be a very crucial thing in all of this. So if the Nets can become formidable defensively, then I give them a really good shot. But they have to, first of all, tweak the roster a little bit. They definitely have to really search in the free agency, try to get some defenders on their team, because their roster is fine. They have great depth, but they don't really have lockdown defenders. And again, we don't know what Kevin Durant is going to be when he comes back from injury. So if Kevin Durant can show that defensively he's still the same player that he was, then this makes the Brooklyn Nets a very strong contender in the Eastern Conference. A very big question too that also needs to be answered is chemistry. And these are the 2 points that I want to make that can really switch over the complete volatility that's going to happen in New York, which is, can they handle a great offensive team like the Lakers, Golden State, or the Houston Rockets sometimes, but can they come together defensively in order to be a title contender? And will they have the chemistry to be title contenders? Will be a very big question mark moving forward. Now, this kind of segues more so into Kyrie Irving than it does Kevin Durant, but both of these players have a reputation of, being drama queens or not necessarily being the best locker room present. So how Kyrie and KD will mesh, I think will be just fine. I think they're friends. I think they're really good friends. I think they're both people who love the sport of basketball and are committed to bringing their best in basketball. So I think in terms of their compatibility, it's fine. But how the team chemistry, how everyone fits into the KD and Kyrie system, how they're going to handle the good days and how they're going to handle the bad days, because people tend to forget when it comes to a championship roster, there's a lot of highs and lows. The Lakers did have some lows. They lost to the Clippers twice and they lost to Milwaukee, and people were starting to rule them out. But of course, they kicked it in and came back and won the championship. But how the Brooklyn Nets operate when things are bad is going to be a vital component of all of this, because if things start going south and Kyrie doesn't like the way things are handled, he doesn't like the coaching, hint Kyrie alluded that they don't need a head coach, that's going to be an issue. I think Steve Nash is going to have to definitely check the egos the same way Tyronn Lue has to check the egos on the Clippers. I think Steve Nash needs to control Kyrie in a way so that he is not going to become a distraction or an interference when it comes to chemistry for the other player. So seeing how well this team will mesh, how they do on their good days, how they do on their bad days, and then eventually how they do in the playoffs is always going to be the big question. Now, for my expectations for Kevin Durant, is that he's going to come back, and I think, of course, he's going to take a little bit of time to come back. Now, maybe he comes back and he just explodes. Who knows? This is a torn Achilles injury. We're not really sure how to deal with this, how it's going to look, so I can't say much. But what I'm expecting is that KD is going to come back. He's going to average his 24, 25, 26 points per game. But I think that you're going to start to see some of his assist totals start to go up. I think that when KD comes back, the offense is going to have to run through him. So he is going to be the person facilitating. Even though Kyrie can facilitate, I feel like they're going to have to share more of that. Like KD is going to have to become more of the facilitator, more of the guy in order for them to succeed. So with that being said, I think that KD will average around 25, 26 points and give or take anywhere between 5 to even up towards 7 assists a game. Yes, that's just how I think Steve Nash is going to want to run this. Steve Nash has always been a pass first guy, so I think he's going to introduce a lot of passing into his game. And because of this, I think that they're going to run the offense through KD, and KD is going to be a playmaker on that team, and he's going to be getting assists. He's going to be scoring. He's going to be rebounding. I wouldn't be surprised if you would see that towards the end, especially towards the end of the season, that KD is capable of putting up triple-double just because of the system that I think that he's going to have to play within the Nets organization. I believe that the Nets will probably win around 55 games in the Eastern Conference. I believe that they'll probably be a top 4, and I think they'll probably finish 3rd in the Eastern Conference standings. And I suspect that Kevin Durant will make the Eastern Conference Finals and will proceed to the NBA Finals, where they will meet the Los Angeles Lakers in the 2021 Finals. That is my prediction. That is what I see is going to happen. That's all I really have for you guys today. Thank you guys for listening this far. If you did, thank you so much. Go ahead and if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so that you can get more basketball content on your timeline whenever I upload. I am uploading daily videos at this point. So go ahead and subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you can get notified when I drop some basketball content. And go ahead and like this video if you enjoyed it. Go ahead and comment down below what you think the Nets record will be and how well Kevin Durant will do this season. But with that being said, guys, I'm out. Peace.